Tina Traster of the Rockland County Business Journal. Good morning.
Good morning, Rockland County.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot that. Well, I'll do it at the tail of your thing, because you're brought to you by the Ugel Law Firm. And it's Tina Traster of the Rockland County RC Biz Journal, Rockland County Business Journal. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Okay. All right. So what have you got for us?
All right. Wow, what a week it was. Let's start with something that is close to you, where you live, Steve. So we know that the town of Stony Point finally signed that contract to sell the former Letchworth property and Patriot Hills Golf Course to local developers, with Raja Mar in the lead. Raja Mar and his partners have agreed to pay $6.4 million for the golf course and 26 adjoining acres on that former Letchworth property. This is a 3-year negotiation in the making. It has always been Raja Mar's intent to take over this property, take down most of the buildings, and build a hotel, conference center, something that is destination-oriented for Rockland County, and that works in concert with the golf course, the Patriot Hills Golf Course, which the agreement calls for him to invest in, to remediate and redevelop, and to bring up to speed with the clubhouse as well. So this is interesting. I mean, this property has had a lot of failed attempts to be redeveloped. There have been hits and misses, developers that have come and looked and have left, and it's a property that the town officials say, has been hemorrhaging money for a long time. The golf course has been hemorrhaging money for a long time, and so I know that the town officials feel, what's the right word, excited, I suppose, to think that now that the property has another chance to generate revenue, to become some sort of a draw for people maybe beyond certainly beyond the county, and to revive a property that has been largely sitting fallow. Now, one caveat is that the Kirkbride building will remain, and another part of the deal requires Amar and his partners to design and construct a new Stony Point Community Center to replace the current RHO building on the Letchworth site. So that new community center will be for senior citizen functions and town meetings and other uses. I can say that we know that there's a lot of interest in this story. In addition to, I should add that in addition to paying $6 million for the acreage, the golf course, the property, the agreement also requires the developers to invest $6.4 million in the golf course and on the adjoining acres. So the agreement calls for, at the closing, for both a cash payment and a performance bond for the design and construction of the new, as I cited before, the new Stony Point Community Center. And we're going to expect to see this deal closing, I would say, in about 90 to 120 days. We'll be following it. But it's pretty big news in Stony Point. What did you hear, Steve? You live there, right?
Yeah, but basically everything, because we have the supervisor on here. He was very happy. He's been pushing for this for a long time, and to what you said, it's identical with what I've heard.
Okay, so that's we're going to watch that play out. I mean, I think the thing that's going to be interesting is, will Rajamar be able to realize his dream of bringing hotel, and will it be something to the likes of a major Ritz hotel, which there has been some interest? Will it be more likely to be a more of a boutique hotel? And I think that the pandemic has sort of changed everything. There's the hotel industry might be on a lag right now before it can bounce back. But I think that there is starting to be a lot of pent-up demand for travel and recreation and leisure, and so I think that Amar, might just be able to. This might be the right time for him to get this back on track and to attract potentially some sort of a hotel group, or to build some sort of a hotel property in order to really maximize the potential of the site, because it's a very large site. In parallel, we also reported this week on the owner of the Paramount Country Club in New City. They say that the country club concept is kind of waning, that older people are moving away, younger people don't really join a country club. So they went for a preliminary meeting to the Clarkstown planners and engineers, the people who vet projects early on. And this isn't the first time they've been before Clarkstown, but they're asking Clarkstown to create a new zone so that they could take a portion of the Paramount Country Club and create multifamily housing. And I think this is going to be a pretty tall ask because the development pressures on Clarkstown seem to be bearing down. And this land is zoned R160, which is a conservation zone. So, if Clarkstown were to rezone this land, every parcel that is zoned R160, which is, like I said, designated for conservation, would be able to use this as a precedent. But the country club argues that it's losing money, or it feels that it doesn't have a future as a country club. So there's just a lot of competing desire between financial prosperity and multifamily housing, particularly senior housing. We keep hearing about that every week. We keep reporting on that, to balance that out with the need to maintain open space and to preserve conservation land. So this one, I don't know if this is going to be a long hauler, and we're going to be looking at this story, or whether this one was nipped in the bud in terms of them coming to the town early and asking for a zone change. But it's interesting because it just speaks to what all the large parcels in Rockland, there's a lot of discussion around what their best use is for, and what the economy here in this county can support. So that's why I tie these two together in today's discussion, even though they're very different stories. But yeah, so those two things happened. And then, I don't know if I have a minute or so left.
Yeah, got about a minute. Go ahead. Okay.
Well, we also learned that the Visnich Yeshiva pushed back on the lawsuit that was filed by the village of South Nyack. That happened a few weeks ago, and they pushed back with in the courts, with essentially saying that, pointing towards social media and the yeshiva basically is claiming discrimination toward the college prompted the lawsuit in the first place. And yeshiva hired a firm called Step Ahead Social Research, which had been gathering thousands and thousands of screenshots of social media posts from Facebook that were discussing the college's intention to purchase the Nyack campus, and they used this as a strong defense to say that they have been discriminated against and that the lawsuit essentially is frivolous. So watching that story, watching to see how the courts unpack that issue, and to see whether the initial lawsuit, which alleged failure to conduct safety inspections and resolve open code violations, turns into an issue in the courts over that, or whether it becomes an issue of discrimination. So pretty fascinating stuff this last week.
And it's all in your publication, which is online, so it gets updated whenever needs to be. As simple as that. You don't have to wait for tomorrow's paper delivery.
That's right. And also you can sign up for your free daily e-blast. Just get on the site, put your email signature in, and you will receive a daily e-blast every day at 7 a.m. and stay on top of what's going on in the county.
And it's all at Rockland, RCBiz, B-I-Z, journal.com. That's RCBizjournal.com. Tina, thank you.
Thank you.
And Tina's report every Monday brought to you by the Ugel Law Firm.
Hello, I'm Scott Ugel of the Ugel Law Firm. I don't have to tell you how our world has dramatically changed. Today, many people are suffering financially and often do not know where to turn for help, as they have many questions. I have been practicing consumer law for over 35 years and have handled thousands of cases where we help people save their home through loan modifications and/or forbearance agreements by going to state Supreme Court, bankruptcy court, or without having to go to court at all. Please give me a call, as every situation is different, and let me tell you how I might be able to help you or someone you love. I'm Scott Ugel of the Ugel